Hello soulmates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you are new to this channel, you're very much welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always stopping by. In today's tutorial, it will be about the sewing of this beautiful outfit. If you haven't seen the part 1, which is the pattern drafting of this dress, I will link it up here and I'll also pin it in the comment section for you to see. So I styled this dress in two ways. I styled it with a inner, which I have a tutorial on it coming soon, and without an inner. So with the inner, I was able to wear it to church. So let me know in the comment section which one you prefer. Is it the one with the inner or the one without the inner? And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and please kindly click on that like button before we continue. And also drop a comment and share this video with your friends. Thank you. Welcome guys. So for this tutorial, I used 2.5 yards of Mikado fabric, and I also bought the lining of the same yard. That's 2.5 yards. So if you want yours to have another shade like the inspiration, you can just buy additional half yard for the upper part. So you use the half yard for that upper part, which you'll be seeing how to do that in this video. So I also use an S-day. So this is an S-day, and please note, if you are size 6, 2.5 to 3 yards will be enough for you, but if you are bigger than that, you will need more yards. So now I've went ahead to cut the fabric. So this is the pattern. As you can see, that the pattern is a straight pattern, but at the edge over here I was able to add some, like a little bit of flare to it. So from the waist area like that, you just add your flare to it. So at the end over there, let me measure it for you to see how much I added. I think I added about 4 inches extra on both sides. As you can see, the zipper allowance side too, I added about 4 inches extra. So I added half inch here for the zipper allowance, that is when I'm turning it with the lining. So I added it, and as you can see that my lining is quite shorter than the fabric. You have to make your lining shorter so that it doesn't show underneath your gown. So this is the zipper allowance side, and the other side, which is the other side of the back, this is still the back. So I added sewing allowance at the side there, and I added, so I did not bother to add flare to this other side because I already added it when I was cutting the fabric. So I just added extra 4 inches to this side also. So from the waist, you start adding it from the waist downward. So from the waist, you start making the flare downward to the edge. Like I said, for this other side that will be for the side, that is the joining of the side, I did not add flare to it because when we were drafting the pattern, if you remember, we added it to it. So let me remove the pattern, and what I want to do next is to pin this together so that I can join them. So I'm pinning the main fabric together, so there will be a joining at this side. So I'll use my pin to pin them together. Please, if you want yours to be very full, that is, you want yours to be more fuller than my own, you can just, instead of using that 4 inches that I use, you can use 6, you can use 7, depending on how full you want it. And again, you have to note that the number of yards of your fabric that you'll be getting will be much more than that. Because for me, I'm a size 6, I was able to use 2.5 yards to sew this gown. So if you want yours to be more full than mine, you can buy just 1 yard extra so that it can be more full. And like I explained about the other shade at the upper part of the dress, so if you want another shade, just get another shade of the fabric, or you can even use a velvet fabric, because if you can't get another shade with the same fabric, you can just use the velvet fabric for that part and it will be another shade. I hope you understand. If you don't understand any part of this video, you can just let me know in the comment section. So you go ahead and you also pin the lining. Make sure you are pinning in the right way so that when you are joining it correctly. So I'll go ahead and join them together like that. So this is the front. I've already removed the pattern. So this is the fabric. I did the same thing too for the front, the way I did for the back, where I added the extra 4 inches for the flare. I added it to the front also. So I'm pinning the lining together so that when I want to join, it will be correct. So you pin it together and you also join. So for the front also, note that we also add the flare to the center front, so they will be joining at the center front. So this is the upper part. Like I said, I used the same fabric. So if you are using another shade, note that this is the part you will cut on another shade of the fabric or on another fabric of your choice that you want to use. So this is like a bustier. So I'm removing the pattern right now. Then the next thing I will do to this is to add my S-day to it. I'll add my estate to this. Let me say this again in case you want yours to have another shade like the inspiration. So this is the part you will cut on another fabric. So because I'm using the same fabric for mine, that's why you can see the same fabric. So I've cut out the fabric and I also cut out the lining. So after adding the stay, this is what it looks like. So I've added the stay to it so that I'll go ahead and just join them together. So I'll join them together and I will also join the lining together separately. So now this is the main bodies for the front. So I added estate to this part. As you can see, like the estate is not that long, it's just a little bit below the the underbust rather. So now this is the bustier and I'm notching it. So I'm notching the bustier so that when I turn it and iron, it will come out very nice. So always notch it, especially this underbust part. Always notch so that when you're ironing, it will come out very neat. So this is what the bustier is looking like. And I'll also go ahead and also notch that of the lining. I'm making this video very slow so that you can understand it. So now before we join the lining and the fabric together, we need to make a tiny strap. So you can just cut out 1 inch of your fabric, then you try and fold to make a tiny strap, very tiny as possible. So try and make the strap. So this is the strap after I was done. I'll show you now. So I went ahead to make the strap. The first one I made was not okay, so I have to cut another fabric to make this one. So I've divided it into two. For the length of this strap, just use your chest line times 2. So I will not be fixing it to the back yet. I will only be fixing the strap to the front at first. So when I'm done with the gown, I will now tell somebody to help me use a pin to hold it at the back so that I can get the perfect measurement. So just use your chest line times 2. So if it is too long, it is better for it to be very short. So I'm trying to measure what I have here, and I have 12 inches here. And I use 5 inches on fold for this part, so that's 11 inches. So half inch on both sides will be for the joining. So that is 11 inches on dots. I hope you understand. So just fix it half inches away from the armhole line, because you'll be sewing the armhole with half inch. So if you are fixing this to the edge, there will be a problem. So just place it half inches away from the armhole line. As you can see, it is half inches away. So now the next thing you will do is to place your lining on it. Then you go ahead and sew, and you top stitch first. You top stitch the neckline first before you go ahead and sew the other part. So this is what I have. I top stitched the neckline first before I started sewing the armhole and the side. So make sure you top stitch so that the lining will not be showing at the front. So I'm cutting away the half inch and I sewn the armhole width. So I cut it away, then I'm flipping it over right now. Then I will go ahead and iron this. So you go ahead and iron it very flat. So this is what it is looking like I said earlier. So if you want yours to have another shade, this is the part you will cut with another fabric. So let me go ahead and iron this. After ironing, I also went ahead to just weave the edge. So this is what this will look like. So I've weaved the edge, so I can set this aside and let's focus on the main fabric. So this is the main fabric. I went ahead to join it at the bust area. So the center front, like I said, there will be a joining at the center front. Then you go ahead and you join. Please remember to add the flare to the center front, towards the end of the gown. That flare we added to the other part, make sure you also add it to the center front also. So you go ahead and join this. Then after joining, this is what I have. So you use your lining to turn it. So I'm using my lining to turn it. I will first sew the neckline, sorry, not the neckline, this upper part here. So I'll first sew this part here, then I will top stitch before I go ahead and sew the side and the armhole. I hope you understand. So you first sew this part here, the upper part there. You go ahead and sew it, top stitch, then you go ahead and sew the other side. So after sewing the other side, like I'm trimming off the excess I have at the armhole so that it doesn't look bulky. Then I'll go ahead and flip this to the right side. flip this to the right side, then you iron. As you can notice that I weaved every part of this, so make sure you weave as you are sewing. So weave the lining, weave the fabric, most especially the fabric, make sure you weave it. So now I will turn this to the right side, then I'll go ahead and give it a very good press. I'll give it a very good press. So you go ahead and iron this very well. So after ironing, this is what I have here. As you can see, this is what I have here. Like I said, this is the other, like if you are using another shade, so this is how it will now look like. So this bustier that has the strap will be another shade. As you can see, when you place this under, so it will now show as the upper part. So this is how it will be. So make sure you align the waist together. Then after aligning it, make sure you pin together. So pin this together and you just make it as one. So pin it together, make sure everything is matching. So you pin it together. So this is what I have right now. This is what it is looking like. As you can see, the double bustier. So this is what it looks like. So the next thing I will do is to go ahead and sew the back before fixing it. So I'll go ahead and sew the back before fixing it. So when you want to pin this center front, make sure you pin in such a way that it is 1 inch below it. You know, when we were drafting the pattern, we made it 1 inch below. So when you are pinning also, make sure you make it 1 inch below. So this is what I have here. So for the back, I went ahead to join the fabric together at first, and I've also joined the lining. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to turn the fabric with the lining. So I'll go ahead and turn it with the lining, and I'll turn the other side too with the lining. So after I was done, this is what it looks like. So, and I've also went ahead to join the two together with the zipper allowance I have there. So I've joined it together. So I left this my zipper space over there. So the next thing I will do is to join this by the waist. So I'll go ahead and join this by the waist with my sewing allowance. So the sewing allowance you are using, so that's what you will use to join this. So you join it together at the side downward. So after joining, this is what I have. I've not ironed this yet, so I will go ahead now and weave this part before turning it. So if you notice that the lower part is not equal, you can go ahead and trim it. So this is my zipper that I will be using. This zipper is not the same shade as the pink I bought, but it's still pink, so I'll just use it like that. So after fixing the zipper, this is what I have. So as this bustier over here, so I'm just trying to just make a little, what will I even call it, a little gathers or something that, yeah, just to hold it a little bit, a little bit. Please use a matching thread. I am using white here, but please use a matching thread. And for the strap here, so when I wore it, so I told someone to help me pin it down. So after pinning it down, so I just use my needle and thread to fix it because I don't want it to show at the other side. So I use a needle and thread to fix the strap. Yeah. So the lower part of the dress, I used a weaving machine to weave it at first so that the edge can be equal. So you can also trim it with your scissors. Then after that, you go ahead and just hem it with the hemming allowance. So this is what I did to this front here. So I just did this to it. So this is what it looks like. So like I said, I fixed the strap to it, and this is the outcome of the dress. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and please like this video. Please like this video, it really goes a long way. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.